Jersey, I would like to say thank you to the Federation of Indian Associations. I am proud and humbled to be an honoree of the 2024 International Women's Day. As a woman who's worked in the healthcare industry for over 3 decades, I understand the importance of leadership, mentorship, and guidance. My personal philosophy is, as we rise, we must raise. I would like to thank you again for this award, and it is an honor to be amongst these very accomplished women. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Megha Desai, and I am the president of the Desai Foundation. For the past 25 years, the Desai Foundation has been empowering women and children through community programming to elevate health, livelihood, and menstrual equity across 8 states and rural communities. It's why I am so deeply humbled and honored to be with you here on International Women's Day and to receive this great honor from the Indian Consulate General of New York and, of course, the Federation of Indian Association in the tri-state area. At the end of the day, it is women that are the backbone of our society. And so today on International Women's Day and every day, let's ensure that we're cultivating the community women, especially the rural women, with health, economic empowerment, and dignity. Thank you so much for this distinction. It means a lot to me. Hello.
At this time, I have the pleasure of introducing my FIA fraternity colleague, Chairwoman of the IWD, Smita Miki Patel.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and namaste. Honorable CG, the esteemed guest, it fills me with pride to celebrate International Women's Day with FIA as we thrive together. In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, a woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she gets in hot water. So let's refrain from challenging the strength within her. In this room, we have remarkable individuals who embrace the challenges, becoming a source of inspiration through their achievements. Heartfelt thanks to Consulate for unwavering support and partnership. Special appreciation to Mr. Ankur Vaidya for his continual guidance and Dr. Avinash Gupta for trusting in us. A sincere shout out to the entire FI Executive Committee for their constant encouragement and solid support. Could you please stand to acknowledge yourself? Thank you. And this event wouldn't be possible without the dedication of our women empowerment team. A round of applause for your efforts, please. Gratitude extends to our sponsors for their invaluable support. CG stands as a pillar of strength, and we are truly blessed to have him as our consul for his unwavering support. Thank you all for making this celebration possible. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. At this time, I'd like to introduce our FIA President, Dr. Avinash Gupta.
Good evening and namaste. Honorable Consul General, Honorable Deputy Consul General, the honorees and esteemed guests. On behalf of our chairman, Mr. Ankur Vaidya, my board of trustees, and the entire executive committee, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Indian Consulate in New York and the Federation of Indian Associations for their dedication to empowering women and for honoring these remarkable recipients who have left an indelible mark on our society. Today, as we celebrate International Women's Day, we commemorate the incredible achievements of women globally, while also acknowledging the contributions of 4 extraordinary recipients present among us, whom we honor today. Actually, while I was coming here, I was told that women are already empowered. India had a woman prime minister many, many years ago, and currently we have a woman president of Republic of India, which is the highest position anyone can get in India. So esteemed honorees, uplifting others has set a shining example for all of us. Leadership, resilience, and passion have transformed lives and inspired generations, and that motivation will remain. You have scaled barriers and paved the way by leading by example. Your inspiration serves as a nutritional source for the next generation. Celebrating the important commemoration, let us reaffirm our commitment to gender equality, diversity, and inclusion. Let us stand together hand in hand as we strive to build a future where every woman and girl has the opportunity to thrive, succeed, and be celebrated for her unique contributions to our shared humanity. I have to thank the women of our FIA team who stand shoulder to shoulder with us in everything we do. Whether it is Republic Day celebrations with Dance Pe Chance, or India Independence Day celebration with India Day Parade, or the Diwali Soup Kitchen, or our Independence Day celebration at the Times Square or Empire State Building. They are there with us, except, of course, today, they did everything on their own, by themselves, and they have been doing it for the last 6 years. Finally, I want to express my deepest gratitude to all the women in my life, including the most important woman, my wife, Dr. Geeta Gupta, for her unwavering support, love, and inspiration. Thank you for everything you do, not just today, but every day. Thank you again. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much for those words. Now, please join me in extending a very warm welcome to our Consul General of India, New York, Mr. Binoy Pradhan.
Ms. Smita Pinky Patel, Mr. Ankur Vaidya, Mr. Dr. Avinash Gupta, Executive Committee members of FIA, other distinguished guests, the 4 honorees, I think 3 of them are present here in this hall, and friends from media. Namaskar, a very good evening. Let me begin by welcoming all of you to the Indian Consulate. This week, we have been celebrating International Women's Day. Let me also wish each one of you a happy International Women's Day. Like I said, we have been celebrating it for a week. So 2 days back, we celebrated it with the diplomatic corps based out of New York. So about 50 consulates participated, and about 16 of them, they brought one distinguished women achiever from their country, respective countries, and we hosted them. So it was a real good occasion to see the women from 16 countries, their stories, their achievement, and also some of them brought the cultural performance of their countries. So on 6th of March, we really had a real International Women's Day celebration here. But today, it's a rather big honor for us that we are celebrating it with FIA, and I'm really happy to hear that we have been doing it for 6 years together. So my compliments not only to the FIA, but like Dr. Gupta said, to the women's team of FIA who have put it together. And today, I'm coming from two events that was, again, to celebrate the same event. At the United Nations headquarters, at 4 o'clock, we celebrated International Women's Day along with the UN Secretariat. And we had the President of General Assembly, we had the Deputy Secretary General, a lady herself from Nigeria, along with her permanent mission. We were celebrating the occasion, but there is a separate theme there. We are also celebrating the success of women in promoting Araku coffee, which is a coffee flavor that comes from India, from the southern India, and the role of women in promoting that coffee, in branding that coffee. That was the theme that they were celebrating. And, half an hour back, we just celebrated International Women's Day internally. You would be happy to know that 2/3 of my colleagues in the consulate happen to be ladies. So like I said, we have been celebrating it for a week, and my compliments that FIA, true to its standard and tradition, is doing this event in style and in substance. So coming to the subject, friends, as you all know, would all agree that the world prospers when the women prosper. And I feel that, their economic empowerment fuels growth, and their leadership fosters inclusivity, and their voices inspire positive change in the societies. So the most effective way to empower women is through a women-led development approach that India has been, doing for some time now. And when I speak about India, as I see many friends who are non-Indian, so it would be more appropriate for them, because I think most of the friends from India and Indian American community would already know what is happening in India. And Dr. Avinash Gupta got to know today when he was coming that India, women are already empowered. But I'll tell the story a little bit about what is happening in India. But coming to personal level, I would say, I live with my mother, my wife, my 2 daughters, and distantly, who don't stay with me, but my 3 sisters. So I live with them. The other day I was telling somebody the situation even in Indian society where women's role is grossly underestimated. I'll come to that a little later. But at a personal level, I know the contribution of women in my household, in my life. At consulate level, as I said, 2/3 of our colleagues here are women. And if you go to our permanent mission in the UN, there 7 out of, I think, 12 officers are women, led by the first lady permanent representative we have here. And if we come to the national level, like Dr. Gupta mentioned about the President of India, who happens to be a lady from a very humble tribal background. Our Prime Minister of India, even at 1966, happened to be a lady. We have that kind of record. And when I see the Indian American community here in the United States, today, of course, we are honoring 3 of them. But I'm really happy to see that they have been leading the world, the Indian American community, the ladies in that, in every sphere. So whether it is the Vice President of India today, who happens to be an Indian origin lady, or, coming to New York City, we have Deputy Mayor. Today we are honoring Mayor Neena Singh. In business world, we have, Indra Nui. We have so many examples even in Indian American community where the ladies have been leading the show. And in last 52 days of my existence here, I have met a lot of friends from Indian American community. I have no hesitation to say that the majority of them happen to be ladies. Mostly they are, leading entrepreneurship in different ways. Some of them are into the area of culture. Some of them are in promoting Indian art forms, Indian ethnic wear, Indian food, Indian cuisine. But they have been on the forefront. So it's a real pleasant story to see that the story of Indian women leading the different walks of life is not only limited in India, it's also happening over here. And little bit of history. Different countries gave equal right to women at different phases of history, at different stages of their development. But in India, right at the beginning, at the stage of our constitution making, we gave equal right to women in every sector. They had right to vote. They had every other right that was given to everybody else. Rather, in a affirmative action mode, the government brought in different amendments to bring them actively into politics. So initially we had one-third reservation for them in the third tier of our democracy, which is the local bodies. And last year the government introduced a bill which gives one-third representation to women, not only in the national parliament, but also in the state assemblies. Same is the story about the self-help group, which is now a big story in India. You would see that, all parts of India, every state, all the 28 states or the union territories, the self-help groups are very active, mostly, I would say, led by women. And when you look at the government schemes, you'll find that the key priority in the government schemes at the moment has been to promote women, whether it is, micro loans, 70% of them are given to the ladies, whether you look at the different schemes, whether it is Ujjwala scheme to provide, clean cooking fuel to the ladies, or whether it is Stand Up India where, the different kind of benefits are provided. Overwhelmingly, the ladies are the beneficiary. So there is a national effort at civil society level, at NGO level, at government level to bring the ladies to the forefront. And like I said, they are now leading every sector in the country. They are breaking glass ceilings on a daily basis, from higher education to entrepreneurship, from female pilot in civil aviation to space, and now in Indian Air Force, and even coming to the armed forces. From operational role to fighting platforms, they are now leading all walks of life. So on this day, we do two things. We celebrate their success, their achievements. This becomes a befitting occasion. But we also, remind ourselves about what are the challenges still, there, which is, despite the government's attempts, and in the case of Government of India, which is already doing a stellar job, the challenges still remain in the society. So this is a day when we also remember, that we need to bring changes in society, in how we treat the girl child, equally within the families, or how we respect women as a homemaker, or we respect their role in raising families and holding it together. So we as a society must now work to remove the barriers that restrict their access to the market, global value chain, and affordable finance. But as I said, more importantly, within our own families. With this, let me conclude, and let me again congratulate FIA for putting up such a distinguished gathering here to celebrate International Women's Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, CG, for those insightful words. I'm now excited to bring to you the main program. It is time to shine the spotlight on our esteemed awardees. So I kindly request our Consul General to join us on the stage for the honor. He will present each honoree with a sash, a trophy, and a bouquet in recognition of their remarkable achievements. First is Her Royal Highness, Queen Radhika Raje Gaikwad. Though she is not with us here today physically, we've already had the privilege of honoring her in her hometown of Vadodara, India. Next, can I introduce Mayor of Montgomery Township, New Jersey, Neena Singh, the first female mayor of Indian Sikh origin. Maybe you can hold the proclamation. Thank you so much. Okay. Next, I'd like to invite Dr. Indu Liu, Executive Vice President and Chief of Staff of Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health. Thank you. And lastly, I'd like to invite Ms. Megha Desai, President of the Desai Foundation, a global organization that empowers women and children through community programs. Thank you so much. We'd now like to invite our honorees to share a few words. Her Royal Highness Radhika Raje Gaikwad. For her, please direct your attention to the video presentation. We'll go to our next honoree. I'd like to invite Mayor Nina Singh to please come up and share a few words. Thank you.
Move this a little higher. That's okay. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here on this beautiful day. We're all inside. My heartfelt thanks to the Consul General and the staff and the Deputy Consul General. It is so great to see our community come out to celebrate women. I think our culture, sometimes people forget, India is the land where women are celebrated every day. As we heard, women empowerment is part of what we do. Maybe we don't talk about it a lot, but I think this is such a great opportunity. So I want to take this time to thank, the Indian Federation, Association of Indian Federation for doing all that they're doing to bring women into the limelight. So it's such an honor today to be here. I want to share what motivates us as women, and I think I'm going to talk about most of us, come into public service or leading all these corporations. We are coming from a spirit of service. So seva, as we know as Indians, is something that we are taught when we are growing up. We call it seva bhav. And we do this in temples, in gurdwaras, in churches. You see all these little kids doing seva. And to quote Mahatma Gandhi, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And I think that is such an intrinsic value that we bring as Indians, and especially as Indian women, because I think we are just the givers in the family. We give our time, we give resources, we are there from the more, let's be honest, I also want to thank the allies we women have, because we are surrounded by men who also support us, and that is very, very important. But I think as women, that's something we forget, that we do this multitasking, that maybe a lot of you know, that it can get really hard. And I think if I look at my life, I was a PTA mom, I was a Boy Scout mom, a Girl Scout mom because I have kids, and service to the community is the reason I ran for office. And I believe strongly that we have to give back. Where we live, we serve. I think that's something that I believe strongly. And for me, the women empowerment is a backbone of everything I do. But to me, also a very important part is the next generation coming after us. How do we empower our children? And I think that to me as the Indian community is so important. So if I look at me in Montgomery, we started for the kids, we have started a youth council where the kids get a chance to come. I mean, all kids come, but it's given many of the Indian kids an opportunity to participate. We select kids, they come to our committees and commissions, they learn how a municipal government works, what civic engagement is. I want everybody to understand that representation matters. When we put ourselves out there and others see, they follow us. So, not to take too much of time because it's supposed to be a 1-minute speech, but politicians. But so I just want to talk about us as community leaders. We need to form strategies to increase Indian community engagement and make space for our children, as I've said. And my position gives me this unique opportunity to influence kids and help them become the leaders and innovators. And I want to talk to everybody here and say, please reach out to the other women who are getting honored. Reach out, let's collaborate. We do that very well, by the way. Women do that beautifully. We collaborate, and I'm sure the gentlemen do it as well. But I just want to make sure that we all work together. We are making a mark in this country, and I am so happy that this country, the melting pot, has given us the opportunity to really shine, to rise. And I think that's something America does beautifully. And so I think this collaboration of America and Indian, and me being the first American Indian mayor in New Jersey, I am so thankful. And I'm hoping that I'm the first, but I'm not the only. I'm sure there's a lot of other young ladies and young men who are looking to raise their voices and be part of this community. So again, I want to thank the Federation of Indian Association for honoring me, and again, Council General, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mayor Singh, for those words. That was lovely. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Indulu.
Short. Well, thank you so much for the Federation of Indian Associations for this honor. I am truly humbled. I am so happy to be with the recipients here today. They are accomplished women, talented women, a first in their own right. So thank you. And as I was walking around the cocktail hour, I met so many other incredible women, and it really just brought joy to my heart. When we look at women, regardless of the industry that they're in, if you talk about government, if you talk about business, if you talk about healthcare, entertainment, regardless of the industry, if women are a part of the process, if they are involved in the creation, if they have a seat at the table, what they do is they bring diversity of thought. They bring diversity of experience. They bring emotional intelligence to the process. And what happens and what we see is that the end result, the outcome, far exceeds the expectations that are set. We see it time and time again. It happens all the time. You've heard Nina mention collaborators. Women are the great collaborators. They are the great communicators. They multitask. Women balance so many balls in the air at the same time. These balls don't drop, but if we happen to let a ball drop, we make sure that the rubber ball drops because that bounces right back up. So, right back up. The other thing, too, is that being a first-generation Indian American, it really brings a lot of unique experiences. You're connecting your culture and your ethnicity and your traditions while balancing living in America, and it's a very unique experience. My parents taught me that if you work really hard, especially in this country, if you work really hard, if you're passionate, and you lead with honesty and kindness, anything is achievable. And we see that time and time again. And I have to tell you, that really strengthens and reinforces my own personal philosophy. You've heard it before when I say, as we raise, we must rise. And what that means is there's a generation of our colleagues, future generations, our current colleagues, that we have a responsibility for mentorship. We have a responsibility for guidance. We have a responsibility in leading and giving those opportunities, the same opportunities that were afforded to me or that we have to seek out. We need to do that for the next generation and for our colleagues as well. It is our responsibility. I want to thank the Consulate General and the Deputy Consulate General for inviting us to their beautiful home. I've never seen anything like this, so thank you for inviting us into your home and all these beautiful things that we're seeing. Never seen anything like it before. But thank you, everyone. This is truly an honor for me. I feel very humbled. I feel very proud to be an Indian American, and I feel very proud to accept this honor. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Liu, for those thoughtful words. And lastly, I'd like to introduce Ms. Megha Desai.
Thank you so much, everyone. I am so humbled to be here today. At the Desai Foundation, we empower women and children through community development to elevate health, livelihood, and menstrual equity. But really what we do every day is to build programs so that every single woman that we serve and every child that we serve can be cultivating dignity, so that they can dream beyond their circumstances. And I think it's really powerful when you have a bridging of communities like we do here today, right, of India and America and what is possible. And I was so happy to hear so many stories from all of you about the powerful women and the powerful women in this room and the incredible women that have been empowered along the way. But I think what we mean by women's empowerment is that we shouldn't have to be extraordinary in order to be empowered. Every single woman, whether they are poor, whether they are a different religion, a different country, deserves the dignity and the civil rights and the human rights to have that same quality of life and that same dignity. And for me, that is what International Women's Day is about. And so I'm really honored to accept this award or this honor on behalf of the women that I serve. And I want to just tell you about one of them. Her name is Shruti. She took a sewing program at the Desai Foundation in a small village in Gujarat. And when I first met her, she was covering her head in a kind of muted color. She wouldn't look me in the eye. It was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, very, very one-word answers. And just 6 months later, I happened to be in that same village, and this woman came up to me, bounding across the room, with a bright yellow sari, her head no longer covered, and went, "Didi, so nice to see you again." And I thought to myself, who is this woman? And my colleague leaned over and she said, "That's Shruti." And I was like, what? This woman had completely transformed. She was standing up straight. She wasn't covering her head. She called me Didi. She had the self-respect to see herself as my equal, because she is. And it's that type of cultivation of dignity that I want to accomplish for all the women we serve, but for all the women around the world. And for me, that is what International Women's Day is all about. It's about fueling the power of our collective to ensure that every woman can hold their head up and extend their hand and say, "Didi." And so that's kind of, for me, what International Women's Day is all about. And when we are able to do this and empower all of the millions and millions of women in India, do you know what we can do for our nation? We can elevate the GDP of our nation. We can lower healthcare costs of our nation. We can ensure that infrastructure is operating better in our nation. You know why I know this? Because I've seen it. And so I ask you to join me in working with the Desai Foundation or any other organization that you feel passionate about that's doing great work in India, so that we can help these women rise, because it is such an honor to be a representative of these women. I want to thank the Federation of Indian Associations. I want to thank the Indian Consulate General. Thank you, Consulate General and Deputy Consulate General, for this beautiful honor. And I am so proud to share this stage with these incredible, incredible women and with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Megha, for those inspiring words. Now, in closing, I'd also like to take this time to thank our generous sponsors who've helped make this event possible: Mr. H.R. Shah, Dr. Sudhir Parikh, Dr. Anupama Sankavalli, Dr. Apurv Agarwal, Dr. Hemangini Shah, Dr. Kirit Pandya, and Dr. Sanjay Kumar. Thank you so much. I also want to express my sincere appreciation to each and every one of you for being here tonight and help us celebrate this momentous occasion. Your presence and your support truly means so much to us. And at this time, I'd also like to call up our Consul General to do the honor of taking photos with our honorees. Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to welcome the sponsors to join the group photo. You guys can stay right there. Please join us on stage. Now I'd like to invite members of the FIA Executive Committee and the board to join for the group photo. Thank you. Now, can I please ask for the FIA Executive Committee and the board? And please also DCG, Varun Jeff. Thank you. Please join us. Sure. Any alumni that are here from past years, please also join us. And thank you so much for being here with us today.